This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and happy Friday night, and welcome to the Reds POSTCAST, brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, where I am here after each and every single Reds game, celebrating victories like tonight as the Cincinnati Reds are victorious over the Washington Nationals 6-1. My name is Tim Daniel. I have been covering the Cincinnati Reds in podcast form for 5 seasons at publications such as Late Night Reds and The Riverfront. If you are just checking me out for the first time, whether it is on your podcast app of choice or here on YouTube, please subscribe. It is free of charge. There is no paywall, and I will take great care of you. You can also get my good friends, Jeff Carr and Stephen Alfenbaker, every Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds on this same exact feed. Today's episode is brought to you by our good friends over at Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Turn any TV into your Xbox. No console required. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to learn more. On tonight's show, we're going to discuss Hunter Greene dominating, throwing a ton of pitches too. Really excited about that. The return of Tyler Stephenson, and oh boy, was it a beauty. He was absolutely excellent at the plate tonight. And I did a little bit of a deep dive on tonight's game, looking at the Reds' ability to turn walks into runs and how much of a factor that played in tonight's game, which I'm really excited to break that down with you. Now, of course, hey, we're here for the next 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to hear from you guys. I want to hear everyone's thoughts. Another lengthy rain delay that we had to wait through, and they still find a way to get the dub and dominate at that. So I am stoked for this one, and let's go ahead and get to it.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I've said this before on the show, and I'm going to say it again. Christian Hunter Greene. Unbelievable tonight. Unbelievable. The only blemish is a solo shot from Josh Bell, and the game was pretty close to long gone at that point. So Hunter Greene tonight, 6 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts, 2 walks, an earned run, 114 pitches, and he was battling through it in the 6th. He got that pitch count up quite a bit there in the 6th inning, and still managed to have a great game. And he took one off the back that I see in the comments, everyone's saying, I hope he's okay. That was right there on the shoulder. Goodness gracious. And thankfully still found a way to finish the game. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Worst case scenario, hopefully it's just a situation where they just kind of skip a start if they have to. But he did go out there and finish the game, and because he's a dog. That's what dogs do, right? He was absolutely incredible. So he was making Washington look silly. There were so many swings tonight that they didn't even look competitive during the game, and it was just super impressive. We've seen him have these outings where he's just really dominated. He's just pulling back and just chucking it and getting people out. Tonight, he pitched, and I think the thing that jumps out the most is, so they found out about 5 o'clock they weren't starting at 6:10, right? Because of the rain, they were going to delay it. And so he gets pushed back to, the game gets pushed back to 8 o'clock. They're originally supposed to start at 6:10. So just about 2 hours later. And just goes out there as a true pro, has a walk in the first inning, doesn't faze him, gets through it, goes out there in the second, balls him down, and just looked on another level. We've seen this from him throughout the year, obviously. What he's been able to do has absolutely been amazing. But the fact that he just went out there tonight was like, all right, rain delay, no big deal. Okay, I got this. And went out there and did his thing. That was pretty incredible. For him too, I just think that it's just this maturation level. I'm pulling up the box score again real quick, guys, so bear with me. So I apologize for being on my phone. I know that's very unprofessional of me as I'm talking about Hunter Greene's professionalism. But just this fact that he mixes pitches so well. In the first inning, Barry talked about in the broadcast, he's using a lot of the splitter. The second inning, he finds the slider, and that just kind of is what he just takes off. And of course, just locates the fastball so well to get these guys looking silly. And I understand the Nationals aren't, the 98 Yankees by any means, but Top of the order, they got some dudes. CJ Abrams got an 850 going. James Wood has a 905 OPS. Nathaniel Lowe's got a 745, which isn't bad. And then, I know there's a little bit of a tail off from there. But you did what you had to do against a team like that. And Jeff and Steve kind of talked about that. They need to win this game. Jake's is right here. I actually like this Nationals team. They're young. They play really hard. They're rebuilding. And they fight. Man, they play. You may beat them, but you're going to feel it. So they were, they did everything they possibly could to make it a game. And the Reds were just significantly better tonight. So want to make sure we give the kudos there for sure. Let's go ahead and go into the chat here. So Josh points out here, he struck out Ruiz twice, which is really hard to do because that dude does not strike out. So that's really pretty awesome. Pierre says, I was worried about Nat's lefty starter tonight. Reds handled that dude really well. Yeah, we'll get into that for sure. Mitchell Parker tonight. I was kind of shocked at how well the Reds did against him. Not that I didn't think the Reds were going to win, but they did. Jake Chafin says, my son's name is Hunter. Good name to have in Cincinnati. Joey Gaditza, Espinal just hits and contributes like he's been real good with his opportunities. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that double in the first, which we're going to talk about in the last segment of the show, just unbelievable. Joey Gaditza also says, welcome back, Catcher One, bringing the lumber tonight. Happy Friday, gang. Nice win tonight, again after a delay. Yeah, it's been a lot of delays and postponements this week in the city, and the team's still going out there and they're competing. So you love to see it. Dave says, I'd like to know how Hunter felt as the night went on. Got to have a big spot on that shoulder. I bet you he's probably got some ice right now, for sure. And then we've got William Wright says, dominant performance by Hunter Greene there tonight. Santiago Espinal seems to come up with big hits at big moments. Tyler Stephenson certainly adds a dimension to the Reds offense coming back. Man, so at a day where Austin Hayes goes down and Tyler Stephenson comes back, which we're going to get into in the next segment here, certainly looked like certainly looked pretty well. But Larry, again, as I told you last week, Hunter Greene has had multiple games this year without giving up a home run, and has literally in the last 2 years only given up 18 home runs last season and this season combined. So pretty good, honestly. Stop referring to him as Homer Bailey. He's much better than that. And we had a nice return tonight to the lineup as one Tyler Stephenson made his triumphant return to the Red Legs, and boy, was he needed. And did he look like he was up to game speed immediately? Let's talk about that right after this. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, like for me, I use this very beautiful PlayStation 5 controller. Subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play, and you're ready to go. Dive into hundreds of premium titles, including EA Sports Call of Football 25, all the way up to Call of Duty, and even a little Halo in there, if that's your thing. What if you could jump into your favorite Xbox titles without needing your console in every room? It's that plain and simple, guys. You can just simply plug this into the back of your TV, get your controller brought with you, and get it all squared away. Head to Amazon.com/FireTV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Shout out to our everydayers for hanging out with us tonight on the postcast as we celebrate a Reds victory, their second in a row. And boy, are they on a roll right now. 7 of their last 9. You'll absolutely take that. Be sure to stay tuned in to Locked On Reds with Jeff and Steve, as well as they do their usual deep dive into the season as a whole and how things are going. They're telling you about what's going on in the minors. They're telling you about potential moves this team can make. They're doing the whole big shebang where I'm just here to kind of recap games like tonight. Let's kind of get to where this game really went advantage Redlegs.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I'm going to go with Tyler Stephenson because this is he is the segment here. In the bottom of the third has a huge RBI double that brings in Santiago Espinal and Spencer Steer and makes it 5-0. Really kind of made that game a little bit out of the way. Larry, I know, and I'm messing with you too, buddy. I like to have some fun. You're my guy. I like when Larry comes to hang out because he's a fun convo. So shout out Larry Wall. Thanks for hanging tonight. Let's talk about Ty Steve. And So I'll be generally honest with you guys when it comes to what's going on in the minors. I know the big names. I know what they're doing. I keep up with rehab outings when guys are getting ready to come back to the big league club. But I'm not like the most knowledgeable. I don't sit around and watch a whole lot of minor league games like I should. But I was reading a lot about, man, Tyler Stephenson's looking really good these last couple of days in Louisville. And he's catching 8-9 innings. So he's doing that. And he's DH. He's throwing guys out, running the bases. He's getting really good contact. He's up to game speed. And I have all the respect in the role for AAA. But I also understand there are levels to this. Like everyone knows how much I love basketball. Like I love the G League. And I will not let you discredit the G League ever. But I do understand there are levels to it. So for him to come back up, and it very well could just be first game of the year. So I don't want to, but I'm not going to discredit that. We're going to have some fun. Swing immediately. Look back to what it was last year after he came back from maternity leave. Just made really good contact, worked really good counts, 2 for 3 tonight, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a walk. And that hit he had was just unreal. That ground roll double he had, and then the second hit, of course, as well. And he the fact that he's back to working counts, the fact that he's just kind of feels consistent again, and he's DHing, and Trevino's in the lineup again tonight and also gets another base hit. You're seeing that once McLean's rolling, and McLean had 2 walks tonight. I thought his plate discipline was great tonight. And once they figure out this Austin Hayes hamstring thing, there's not an easy out in that group. Well, you can argue right field right now. But what if Gavin Lux plays left field and Austin Hayes plays right at some points? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here with you all. Santiago Espinal apparently can play right field. We didn't know that, and he seems to do it quite a bit. And he's a hard out right now too. So it's really fascinating right now with this team. It's hard to not feel good about what they're bringing on a nightly basis. I know they just had a really bad doubleheader against the Cardinals a couple days ago. The way they played yesterday, the way they played today, going to combine 15-2 in those 2 games, certainly seems like things are going in the right direction. And he is right there, smack dab, ready to go and be part of this. And you absolutely love to see it. That double was awesome. Just smoked the ball. And then even that his last at bat, I know he grounded out, hit the ball pretty hard to third base, and just got thrown out. But I love the contact. I love where he's at. I am genuinely curious. I know Jeff and Steve dove into this a lot on their show. Mr. Juan, my guy. Espinal's the next Barry Larkin and the next Joe Morgan. Okay, I like it. I hope you're right. He was an all-star in Toronto. It's Joey Gaditza. Those who don't know that Joey Gaditza hangs out with us, he is actually Canadian, lives in Canada, has a lot of Blue Jays fans, and they say all the time to him that they're really mad at us for taking him from them. So we'll absolutely take that. But just the way that they're making stuff count right now, and having Stephenson come back in there and just make it happen as well, pretty awesome, man. I feel like this offense is really clicking into something special, and we've seen it for the last few weeks, minus the doubleheader. That just was a bad day of baseball. Hey, let's kind of get to another thing I looked at today really quick. One thing that really impressed me about the Reds was their ability to turn walks into runs today was really a huge factor in the game. But first, let's kind of get to the least surprising locked-on player of the game, maybe of the season.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Once again, Hunter Greene is absolutely incredible tonight. 6 innings of 12 strikeouts, 1 earned run. Does have 2 walks, but we all move on from that. Larry comes in here and calls him Homer Bailey. My guy. I'm going to say 2 things about that. I know you're messing, but one thing. When Homer Bailey was on his excellent level, he's really good. So, and Hunter Greene's better than that. So it's a really fun. It was fun though. But when Homer Greene was bad, when Homer Bailey was bad, he certainly was bad. But we don't have to speak of that name anymore. He is long gone in Reds lore. I was actually at his second no-hitter in Cincinnati. That was one of my favorite moments ever. Tonight, the Reds scored 6 runs. If you had to guess how many of those runs were scored by guys who drew walks, would you be surprised to know 66% of the runs scored tonight? 4 of their runs scored tonight, of their 6, were by guys who drew walks. And what I love about this is they are not letting things go by. Now this league, they've not hit very well with runners in scoring position. I won't deny that. But what they are doing is they are making you pay. You know, the classic, we all remember the old Riverfront Stadium walks will haunt. My all-time favorite. I think Cincy Shirts makes the shirt. That was like, you know, they managed to do that a lot tonight. So we'll go through it just so you kind of know what I'm saying here. So in the first inning, Friedel gets out, and then McLean and Ellie draw back-to-back walks. Espinal hits the RBI double. There's 2 right there. In the bottom of the second, Stephenson walks, and they get the bases loaded, and McLean hits a fielder's choice. Stephenson scores. And then in the bottom of the third, after Stephenson has his first double, Espinal brings him in on an RBI. Sorry. I had that backed up. Espinal draws a walk, and Stephenson brings him in on an RBI double. So this is really great, because I feel like with Tito, one thing you're kind of seeing is the Reds are taking full advantage of, if you're giving them free runs, they're going to score them. And I think that's a deciding factor as we move forward this year. This has been tonight was a great example of that. So, big picture. Whoa, my phone just dropped where I always get my box score. They had 7 hits tonight. Not bad, not terrible, not great. But their 5 walks tonight led to 4 of their 6 runs. So if you're putting the Redlegs on base, they're gonna find a way to beat you, is what I'm saying here. And my last segment, I really need my phone right now for. So I'm trying my best to do the thing where I kick my feet out, and it's not going very well. I probably look really silly on the air. But what I'm trying to say is the patience. I know we've kind of been like, what the heck is Chris Valleca doing at times? Seems like Chris Valleca's got a nice impression of the team right now, him and Tito. So something he's talking with those guys about is working. And I'm going to continue to enjoy as much as I can. I know you guys are too. But let's go ahead and let's get out of here. Let's celebrate. It's Friday night. What's that Montel Jordan would say? I don't know. I'm too old now, and I got a kid, so I can't really do that stuff anymore. But the Cincinnati Reds are victorious tonight over the Washington Nationals by a final score of 6-1. And your winning pitcher tonight is Hunter Greene for his 4th win of the year. I think that's right. Your losing pitcher is Dylan Mitchell, who could not find the strike zone for quite a bit of his game. The Reds are back at it tomorrow at 6:40. Hopefully, this rain kind of holds off and we get like a game on time for once this week. Going against the Washington Nationals. Nick Lodolo, it's Dolo Day. Can he fill it up? I think he can fill it up as well and make this thing happen. Keep this stretch going. Lodolo's 3-2 with a 2.25 ERA. He's going against the Nationals' Trevor Williams, who is 1-3 with a 5.7. And we need this one, guys. I don't know. I shouldn't say that, but I want to sweep this weekend. If the Reds win this one, they'll have won 3 straight weekend series. And that's a good sign for the future. So take advantage, beat the teams you got to beat. By the way, did anyone else know that Lucas Sims pitches for the Nationals now? I was not aware until I saw him come to games tonight. I need to do better at that stuff, obviously. But I'm Tim Daniel. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on a wonderful Friday night celebrating a Reds win. I'll be back here tomorrow after the Saturday game. Everyone take it easy. Have a good one, and we will talk soon.